Who are you and what's your business?
My name is Jody Jacobs. I'm from Mullen, Nebraska. I have created a line of dry dip mixes, and I also create Nebraska gift baskets.
Great. How do you market your business?
Well, I go out on foot a lot. I go out and take my product out. That's the best form of advertising, is letting them try it and see it. And I also am really involved with Grow Nebraska and utilize them a lot for my business as well.
Okay. You market online too?
I do market online as well.
So how do you, I wrote the marketing section, so I'm going to have to avoid the tendency to ask only marketing questions.
Okay.
I'll ask that one later. So have you ever gathered input from your customers? And if so, how have you done that? Did you do it online? Just ask them?
I do both. I do online. I do.
Yeah, don't forget to paraphrase.
Oh, that's right. What was the question again?
How you get, or whether you have, or how you get feedback from your customers.
Okay. I do get feedback from my customers, both online and actual hands-on. I do a lot of trade shows and different craft shows, so I always sample. I'm always asking for input from that. And then I do utilize like Facebook and stuff. I do specials and ask for input, on Facebook from my customers and different ways like that as well.
And are they forthcoming with their feedback? Do they?
They really are. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of feedback. I get comments all the time online. Different customers will say, "Oh, I've used this," and that's great forms of advertising because other people can see it as well.
Cool. So, have you been able to sort out the online marketing, and so what kind of an impact has being online made in your business?
Well, for one thing, I think the online marketing adds credibility to my business, for one. They can go on there and actually see the product, especially when I'm, say, talking to corporate accounts. They can go on and actually take a look, themselves at what I carry, the pictures of the products, what the different baskets contain, and so I utilize it, in that manner as well.
What have you done to, I'm going to ask the question anyway, it's the one I keep wanting to ask and keep trying to put off till later. What do you do to tie your online and offline marketing together?
Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry.
Do you put your website on your labels and things like that?
I do, yes. I try to tie the online marketing in with pretty much everything I do. I have advertisement on my car that has my website, and which has actually created a lot of business. It's kind of surprising when I'm traveling. We kind of go back and look, and I have orders come in from places I've visited, so I know that that's working. And I do have my website on all of my business cards, which I include in my gift baskets, and as well as on all of my dip packaging also.
That is really cool. Let's track Jody.
Yeah.
Where the orders come from. That's really cool. So do you have any mobile apps or anything?
I don't have any mobile apps per se. Being involved with Grow, of course, all of my products are linked up through them, and I think they do a little bit more than what I actually do, and so my affiliation with them helps me too on what they're using.
Great. So the next couple questions, since you don't actually have a storefront, you may not do so, but if you don't, you can kind of say
Okay.
that. So do you use any location-based online tools? Like, do you run any specific location-based promotions or?
Well, I do maybe use online ways of promoting location specials, such as if I'm going to be in a trade show, I always put that on, Facebook, and so forth. Encourage them to come out and see me at a show or something like that. So, but where I don't have a storefront, that is a little more difficult.
Okay. So one of the parts of the curriculum is we tell them that it's important to claim their page in Google or on Bing.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly important for people with a storefront, but have you done that for your business? Obviously you have an address and you live somewhere, but
Yeah, I haven't really claimed. I haven't really claimed a spot. I guess I've had a few calls from companies that will say that they'll, help me to do that, and I haven't ever invested the money in that. I've went in myself and tried to, do different things to, use Google and so forth for my business and try to move myself up on the chain a little bit there, but
okay.
otherwise, no.
Okay, that's yeah, and that's something that you don't need to pay yourself.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself over time as it grows up, especially since you don't have a storefront. Do you ever check your online reputation? Do you ever go on to see if anybody's mentioning your business online?
I guess I haven't really checked to see if anybody's mentioned my business online. I do check my website, very regularly, and I check to see like where the searches are coming from. If it's a direct search or if it's just somebody that's Googled, choke cherry jelly or something like that, and so I do check it frequently, but.
Okay. Great. So do you ever check out the competition using online?
I definitely check out the competition a lot. I get on there and check out price, points, and what other people are selling their products for. Maybe some ideas for baskets, and flavors. I'm always, trying to create new flavors for dips, and so I get out there and check that out quite frequently.
Cool. So internet's really good for that, isn't it?
You bet.
So think about your business brand. How would you describe your business brand, and how did you build it? How did you create it?
Well, my business brand is the Nebraska Pantry. That's the name of my business. I guess when I think of any pantry, good pantry, good food comes out of it, and the Nebraska Pantry opens me up to things that I can create, focusing and promoting other people's foods. I only do food products. I don't do anything gift items or anything. So it all can fall under that pantry door, So.
Let's talk specifically about your website. How long have you had a website?
I originally had a gift shop, and I was one of the first people in Mullen to actually have a website. That was in early 2000s, and I owned my gift shop for about 9 years, and so I did have a little bit of a experience with a website at that time. And when I sold my business, I of course closed my website and started this one up. I think this has been about 3 years now that I've had this website, and so it's been I'm not a real tech savvy person, so I have to keep it pretty simple, but there's ways out there to do it simple and to make it good.
Okay, great. So thinking about how you started your website, what advice would you have for other people when they're first starting theirs?
Well, I think simplicity, and something that you are comfortable with, whether you want to pay someone else to manage your website, I think is something to take into consideration. I'm not one that wants to pay someone else. I want to be able to go in and check it and to make changes, as I see, fit. And I think if you, have a website that is easy to manage and simple and nice, you want to keep it neat and just easy for that customer to be able to use as well.
Do you use what kind of website? Do you use a content management system? Do you have a template? If so,
I use Yahoo. Is who I go through for my website, and for me it was just simply because it was easy to set up. I didn't hire anyone. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 boys that are very graphic minded, and they can help me do those things, and so it was kind of a family affair, and I utilized their help a lot, but it was we chose Yahoo specifically because of their store manager. It's just very easy for me to run.
Okay. Yeah. In Yahoo, I mean, it's just so I know when I ask other questions. So it's like a storefront thing. It's already pre-built for selling products.
Right. Yahoo, they have a couple of different templates that you can use. You can create your own. It's a little more advanced, or you can use theirs. They have just a very simple, you change the color, we went on to a little more advanced than that, but basically, you still use the same store manager, and that's what, really the key why I went with them is just the ease of that.
Is the shopping cart built?
It's got a shopping cart, yeah, and I had the option of putting different. I could use PayPal, or I could, have credit cards and so forth on there, and so for me that worked really well.
How do you process payment?
I process payments. I do take direct billing myself if they call me. If they are making a purchase online, they have the option of using a major credit card or PayPal.
Okay. And when you take the credit cards, is that through the PayPal account too?
It is. Yeah, it all goes through PayPal.
How do you handle sales tax when you're shipping out of state?
Well, I handle sales tax in a couple different ways. For one thing, when I do all my sales with my dips, that's considered a food product. So I'm fortunate that I don't have to contend with sales tax, with that. As far as the baskets go, I have a link for my baskets through Grow. So if you go onto my website, right at this time, you can't purchase a basket directly from me. You go through the Grow part of it, and they do all of the sales tax on their end. So it makes it really easy. They can still order my product, but Grow is actually the ones that is taking care of all of the billing on that part of it.
Great. That makes it easy. That's so. Trying to think of a question, because I think it's kind of cool how you've done it. I mean, you chose the website thing with the storefront built-in that made it easy. PayPal is basically you farm out the credit card stuff to PayPal, and the sales tax stuff, when that's an issue, you give it to Grow Nebraska.
A third party. Right.
So I'm trying to think of a question of how to make it so you made it manageable by taking advantage of other businesses and what they do. I don't really. So, what kind of question could I ask that would have you answer? answer that. Well, I'll think about it. We got other questions
Okay.
to answer. We'll come back to that one. So could you describe a little bit the transactional side of your website? You already said it had a shopping cart, but maybe you could say that how do people buy from your website? If they go onto your website, kind of describe a little bit about what happens when somebody goes on the website and the steps that they would go through all the way to purchasing.
Okay, the steps for someone to go in and purchase something off of my website, they go onto the home page. Of course, I have the different tabs, whether they want to go and look at the dips, find out about me, find out about our company. I have a little history on that as well. They can choose how many of the dips, if, certain flavor that they want. I do have an active shopping cart. They can go in and check it or, make different changes on it, delete, products or add products. And then the next step is, they basically just, agree to buy those, and then they can fill out their shipping information, whether they want any messages to go with their order, if it's to be shipped to someone else. And then I've got the checkout process, where they can have the option of using PayPal. The shipping charges are all a basic flat rate until they get to a certain price point. So that's very easy, for them to understand, as well. And with the price point, part there that if they want to buy a few more dips, they can, that helps me out a little bit more, and they think they're getting a great bargain. So, and then I always follow up with a return email to let them know that I have received that order. And just makes it a little more personable. I tell them what day that it'll ship, which is usually the following day. And then I always check to make sure that they've gotten their product. And I've started getting a lot of repeat orders, which is a huge bonus. So.
Very cool. So because you do your own website, so you're responsible for everything, I guess. So what do you do to try to help search engines find you? What do you do for search engine optimization?
Oh, what do I do for search options?
Keywords? Okay.
Keywords are big. Yeah, actually, when we created the website, we used a lot of keywords, and they're invisible on the front page, but we used a lot of keywords, like jellies, jams, Nebraska, food products, things like that, try to get that all incorporated in. So if anyone is searching, for Nebraska foods, I'm hoping that my website will come right up there.
So does your website, so product descriptions. So since you do the website, obviously you write the product descriptions. So could you talk a little bit about writing product descriptions, some tips or pointers for writing product descriptions?
As far as writing product descriptions, I think, keep it simple. They don't want to read a whole paragraph about, one little thing, and you're going to lose their interest. And I think you want to, make sure that you focus in on, if it's a dip that I'm talking about that I, easy to prepare, really tastes great, you don't want to go into a whole lot of depth on it.
Okay. So how much time do you spend writing for your website?
I don't spend a lot of time anymore writing for my website. I check it, periodically. I spend, I'm usually, I would say right at this point in my business, probably only maybe an hour or so a week that I'm actually checking out, different things with my website. But I don't write too much anymore.
Okay. What about pictures? Do you do your own photography? Do your own picture editing and put them on?
I have done some of my own photography. I have paid to have them professionally done. And, I think that is something that is well worth the money. You want that website to look good, your pictures to be clear, and I think it's well worth the money to have them done professionally.
Okay. Do you have any big plans for changes to your website?
I do have some plans for changing on my website. Right now, like if you go onto my website and you look at other products, it shows the baskets and it's got the link to Grow Nebraska. And I do all of my sales for baskets through them. And I am wanting to make some changes that that someone can go through and actually buy the baskets off of my site and eliminate that third party. There's definite advantages of going through Grow, but I want to have that option on my website as well.
Yeah, then you wouldn't have to give them their cut, right?
That's right.
So let's switch sort of subjects a little bit and talk about online marketing. So you have a website, and you mentioned that you use Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So what, I'm going to get you to say that those are two of them. So what online tools do you use in marketing your business? The online tools that I use to market my business are definitely just my website and Facebook. I haven't, broadened my horizons on Twitter, things like that. I've only used Facebook, and it's doing very well for me. So How did you end up using Facebook?
How I ended up using Facebook was just kind of trial and error. I know they, the Facebook itself, I saw an ad that you can, do the ads, through them. And I did start using some ads. I didn't see a huge, plus in using them for ads. You pay so many dollars, whatever amount you want, per week. And I, kind of quit doing that and just use my own, my own likes, my own promotions and stuff through them.
So you have a Facebook business page?
I do have a Facebook business page. Mm-hmm.
How often do you post? Do you post
I
pictures?
try to do something once a month. I try to do a featured product. This month I might focus on, with February coming up, I'll do a dip of the month type thing, and if you like it or share it, then your name is in the drawing for a free dip, and I, usually do promotions that way.
Okay, and you already mentioned that you also try to promote your trade show, or
I do. I also promote on Facebook all of my trade shows and use different events that I'm going to be at.
Okay, and you already said you do all of that yourself. So is there any online tool that you've tried, or a marketing campaign that you've tried that was kind of a bust, that didn't work very well? And then I'll ask you, the next question will be, is there anything that did work exceptionally well? Okay. First of all, is there anything that didn't work very well?
I can't think of anything that really didn't work.
Okay. So we did a foods curriculum before, and we interviewed some other area people. We don't pick on the same people all the time. But like George Johnson with his vinegars, Cody, he said that he tried advertising in magazines, print advertising in magazines, and he said he never sold enough product to cover the cost of the advertising.
Yeah.
So I guess you're lucky that you didn't have anything that's been a complete
Yeah, I
bust.
guess, when you go that, when you look at it that way, I have done some advertising, that I haven't felt like, is, paid out. But, you never know down the road, that same person that read that article might, come back and order down the road too. So,
So what's worked really well?
What's worked really well in my business
In marketing.
In the marketing? Like I said, surprisingly, having my website on my car has really been more profitable than we ever, dreamt. And it's kind of comical when we get back from a trip, we go in and you can kind of see, the page views, how they spike. And we fully believe that that's because people are just curiosity, and we've, been in line in traffic lines, and you can see somebody back there with their phone and, just sitting there, and pretty soon you see them and you just wonder, are they, Googling your website, and we know we've gotten orders that way, from being in different towns and so forth.
It's so cool. What about word of mouth? Does word of mouth play?
Word of mouth is a huge part of my business, especially where I'm offering a product that tastes great, and to us, that's the thing, you get out there, you sample, you have other people in line saying, oh, I buy this one, I buy this, and or they'll, once in a while I'll get an email, oh, I saw your product in Shields at the store today, that's so cool, and things like that, and every time something like that is written, other people are seeing it that, that maybe haven't ever tried your product, so that's really cool.
Have you got any like newspaper articles or anything like that? Have you any magazines or anything, written articles on you?
I've had a couple of local magazine or paper articles out, and I've had a couple of requests for things to be on different panels and stuff. Time-wise, they just haven't worked out, but that option's still there.
Okay. So, thinking about the future of marketing your business, especially marketing your business online, where do you see marketing heading for your business?
Where do I see marketing heading for my business? I want to expand, of course, with my baskets online. I do a lot in state, but I'm finding myself getting, out of state more and more, and so I'm hoping that picks up a little bit as well.
So, just some general questions. Doesn't have to be related to marketing, but so what's your business-wise? What's your biggest success story?
My biggest success story is just probably with my dips. To walk into a store, a big store like Shields or someplace, and see that my dips, and see somebody standing there and buying them, it's pretty cool. It's a good feeling, to know that you came up with that concept, and it's pretty interesting.
And it's going to taste great for
yeah.
when they get home. So if you had to do all over again, what changes would you make? Yeah, go ahead. I'll just leave it.
To do, if I go back and do anything over again, I would maybe went a little slower. Things got a little fast for me the first year, not that that's a bad problem, but I felt a little overwhelmed, there was a couple times, we were up, putting in some late hours trying to, package and stuff. Things, were going really well, really fast, and I maybe wasn't quite prepared for that, would be the only downside.
About what percent of your business is online versus the wholesale?
I think, I wouldn't say 100% of my business is online, but I use, even in my wholesale accounts, I use online tools, for billing purposes, for, just ordering, a lot of my orders come in online. So it might not be directly through my website, but I utilize the the website or, my computer for it, on almost every transaction.
Great. So I think the only other thing that I would like to ask, other than that question that I still haven't figured out how to ask. So do you have like 2 or 3 tips that you would give, or words of advice that you would have for other people who are just starting their online business?
Any tips that I have for someone else starting their online business, whether you go through Yahoo or whatever one, I think it's got to be something that you're really comfortable with, making the changes, being able to handle. People like me that aren't real tech savvy, you've got to be simple, otherwise you're just going to be so overwhelmed. And make it clean, make it easy for the customer and easy for you.
Okay. So I think how I'm going to ask that question is, how do you handle the complexity? Running a website, building a website, building a shopping cart could be really complex. There's lots of laws that come into play in taking credit cards, and the same with sales tax. How do you manage all of the complexities?
How do I manage all of the complexities of having an online store? I think you need to be maybe involved with someone. Grow Nebraska has been a huge, part of my business. They do a great job as far as helping me out, giving me tips. They put on, different classes and so forth that help you. Go in there and try to familiarize yourself as much as you can with them, and learn. You're never too old to learn, and if you go through companies that are it might cost you a little bit more money to do that, but I think that if you you pay for what you get, and you can find some cheaper options out there, but you're going to have a lot rougher time trying to get going and to maintain that.
Okay. Yeah, why build your own shopping cart and worry about whether it breaks or not? Let Yahoo worry about
Exactly.
it. Exactly. No kidding. So, anything that you think I missed, Mike?
No, I think that's...
Is there anything else that I didn't think to ask?
I have no clue.
I don't think so.
No, I think that covers it.
Okay, so now Mike just needs to get his